You know, if you've ever watched a web automation bot in action, you've probably had that thought, man, there has to be a better way, right? They just click and type with this clunky, fragile feeling that seems so outdated. Well, today, we're going to dive into a totally new approach that teaches AI to stop copying our clicks and actually start thinking more like us. It's called WALT, and it could literally change how AI interacts with the web. So first things first, let's unpack the problem that WALT was designed to fix.
All right, so first, we need to get a handle on the main issue WALT is trying to solve. It's what researchers call the brittle bot problem. And trust me, brittle is the perfect word for it. Okay, let's use a super simple example. You want to find the cheapest blue kayak on a shopping website. For you, it's easy. You see a search bar, a filter menu, a sort button. You just use them. 3, maybe 4 steps, totally intuitive. But a traditional AI agent, it doesn't see it that way. It sees a script. It has to find element ID 34, which is the search box, then element ID 37 for the button. Then it has to find the exact code for the filter menu, then the category. It becomes this long, fragile chain of commands that completely depends on the website's code never changing.
And that right there, that's the core problem in a nutshell. These agents are brittle. The second a web developer pushes a tiny update, changes a button's code name, moves a menu just a little bit, the whole script just breaks. The bot is totally lost. It's kind of like trying to follow a map after someone went and changed all the street names overnight. And that's exactly why web automation has been so frustrating and unreliable for so long. So how do we fix this? Well, WALT's approach is this really fundamental shift in how we think about the problem. It's all about moving from thinking in single clicks to thinking in high-level tools. So what's a tool here? It's not some new piece of code the AI has to write. Nope. Instead, WALT actually reverse engineers the functions the website already gives you. That search bar isn't just a box you type into, it's a search tool. That filter menu is a filter tool. The AI learns to see the website's features as this powerful, reusable toolkit. There's a quote from the research paper that just nails it. It shifts the computational burden from fragile step-by-step reasoning to reliable tool invocation. What does that mean? Basically, instead of the AI having to figure out a dozen tiny, breakable steps, it just has to make one big, reliable choice. Okay, I need to use the search tool. So much smarter. So let's jump back to our kayak example. The old way was that huge, messy list of clicks and element IDs. The WALT way? It's one single, clean command. Search query equals blue kayak, sort by equals price. See how much better that is? It's strong, it's easy to read, and it just hides all that low-level, brittle nonsense. The agent is now speaking the website's own language, not just poking at its surface.
Now, this all sounds pretty great, right? But how does the AI actually learn to do this? It's not magic. WALT uses this really clever 3-step process to discover and build its own personal toolkit for any website it comes across. It follows what the researchers call a demonstrate, generate, validate loop. So, step 1. An agent goes and explores a website's features. It clicks every filter, tries every sorting option, basically just shows what a function can do. Step 2, a special tool generator agent watches that whole demonstration and reverse engineers it into a nice, structured, reusable tool. And finally, step 3, a test agent comes in and just hammers that new tool with different inputs to make sure it's solid before it gets added to the main toolkit. And here's where it gets really, really smart. Whenever it can, WALT doesn't even bother with the clicks. It just manipulates the URL directly. Think about it. When you apply filters on Amazon or whatever, the URL in your browser updates with all your choices. WALT learns to just build those URLs itself. It's the most robust method you can imagine. It's like having a perfect bookmark to get exactly where you need to go every single time.
And hey, this isn't just for finding stuff to buy. WALT can learn a whole bunch of different tools. It can learn how to create, edit, or delete posts on a forum. It can figure out how to post comments or upvote things on social media. It can even learn how to send messages. It's a general-purpose method for really understanding the core functions of pretty much any website you throw at it.
Okay, so the theory is solid, the idea is cool, but does it actually perform any better? Let's check out the data. On a really tough benchmark called Visual Web Arena, the results are pretty clear. The previous best AI was getting a success rate of about 50%. WALT bumps that up to almost 53%. Now, I know that might sound like a small jump, but in the world of AI research, that is a real significant step forward. It also kind of shows us how far we still have to go to match actual human performance, which is way up there at almost 89%.
And it's not just about getting it right more often. WALT is also way more efficient. On average, it gets tasks done using 1.4 times fewer steps. That's a direct result of what we were talking about, swapping out dozens of fragile little clicks for one single powerful tool. It's not just better, it's smarter and it's faster.
And we're not just talking about 1 or 2 cases. The system on its own discovered over 50 unique, reusable tools across all the different benchmark websites. That really shows its ability to learn and adapt, building a custom-made toolkit for each new place it visits online.
So, what does all of this actually mean for the future of web automation and AI agents in general? This is really the main thing to take away from all this. WALT is about a whole new philosophy. We're moving away from trying to teach AI to be these clumsy mimics of our hands and mouse clicks. Instead, we're teaching them to be smart users that actually understand and use the powerful, well-built tools that website developers have already created for us.
Now, of course, it's not perfect. The researchers are really upfront about the challenges that are still out there. That first step, the whole discovery and validation process for the tools, it takes time and computing power. Websites that are constantly changing their layout can still break the tools. And some really complex things, like drag-and-drop file uploads, still need more of that old-school step-by-step logic.
But this whole approach just opens up such a fascinating question for the future. By learning to think in tools instead of clicks, WALT is basically learning the native language of a website. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What could AI really truly achieve if it became fluent in the native language of every single website and app we use every day? That's a future where AI isn't just following a script, it's truly collaborating with us online.